Check out these clips from the pre-patch podcast.
I'll kick it off and go first. What I have
You got
been
another dome keeper?
no. So this is
Oh no, we're good. High definition complete. We're good.
Awesome. Can you send me that link so I can have it?
Yeah, I got you.
But this is Ravenbound. Is one of the games that I've been playing. The Ravenbound actually came out a few about
Been a
2
while.
weeks ago. Has it
It
been?
hasn't been. It's been like a month, hasn't it?
I don't know
Is
if
this
it's been
not
a
what
full month,
Enigma?
it's-
Is this not what you've been playing?
No,
he's a-
this is
it's-
that was
it's-
Raven Watch. This is
Yeah.
Oh,
Ravenbound.
Yes,
Okay.
this is
Yeah,
Ravenbound.
it came out roughly the same time, or
It's too many
around
games
the
that
same
are
time at least.
And
similar shit.
so Ravenbound, I just want to look up. I do want to find out when it came out. So it released on March 30th. Is when it went full release. And it is.
It's been a couple months or a couple weeks.
Yep, it is not in early access. I do think that the game probably would have benefited to go
Should have
into
been in early access. Yeah.
honestly, because it's got some bugs that are pretty frustrating. But essentially, this game is an open world roguelike, which is not something that we see a lot of when
No.
it comes to usually roguelikes are very like linear and
Very
run
limited, yeah.
run based. This is run based, but it also is, again, as you're seeing, like you take on an aspect of a vessel, and then you are able to turn into this crow and fly around.
Raven.
You want to know what?
What?
You take on the vessel of animal people.
Okay.
Again, Sin's a fucking
yeah,
furry.
yeah, sure. I'm a furry. Oh my god. In any case, and you are going around. Excuse me. You're going
You
around.
took him out with that one.
And you're
He's just like, maybe I am furry, man. Holy shit.
The objective of the game is basically you are building a character. You do that by getting cards based on the character type that you pick, which you can do. Like there's a wolf character, there's a deer character, there is a human. They have a couple other different ones that you can choose from. And you basically fly around these different zones. All the zones are connected, so you're not locked into just one. You can go kind of wherever you want. And as you battle, you pick up these shards that you empower, and then when you empower them, they give you a card. It sounds really convoluted, and to be 100% honest, it is a little kind of complicated, probably more than what it
Yeah.
necessarily needs to be. But it is fun. So once you get the cards, you then have to get mana to be able to spend, to be able to use the cards, and the cards will unlock like relics that are permanent upgrades. They will unlock weapons, they will unlock armor, and they will unlock effects. So once you do that and you empower a card, you are then also gaining this thing called hatred. And as you gain hatred, it buffs the rest of the world around you once you get to a certain point. And so you can go to these chests that are red and you can unlock them, and you'll get a temporary hatred. So you can see right there, that chest is kind of glowing red. If I go and I open the chest, I will get like an item that I can use, but I'm going to also gain temporary hatred, which means that the world is now going to become harder around me.
Gotcha. So that's where their like difficulty slope kind of comes into play.
The problem is that when you do that after a certain amount of time, you get permanent hatred, meaning that that slot is now locked out, and you can't, you need one less fragment. But every single time that you empower, because you need 3 fragments to empower, every single time that you empower, you now get permanent hatred. And so your hatred is always going up. And the only way to cleanse that is by going and defeating one of the little world bosses that is like called a warden. But when you do, it's very difficult. So it's very like that part of the game is one of the things where I think it's a kind of a downfall, because of the permanent hatred and the hatred levels constantly going up. Like it makes it so that you really can't build your character the way that you want to, and you're kind of rushed to try to get this stuff done, but you're not powerful enough to really do the run properly. Kind of.
So it sounds like they kind of might need to like balance that time, that like threshold, because I mean that's kind of like reminding me of like like For the King, how they have their like their levels. They're like, was it like, I can't remember, Doom or Plague or something, whatever that is.
Plague or whatever it was.
Yeah,
the corruption.
The corruption, yeah. But and that was timed pretty well in that game, where you could still, like, it was difficult, and it can creep up fast on you, but you can still
Well,
gear your
it
character
also
up and keep moving
well
forward.
it also had ways of like getting rid of the corruption as well.
Well, yeah, but
as
so
you
does
were
this.
playing and
Like Sin
stuff.
was saying, like killing the wardens would get rid of the.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Is
would
that
get
the
rid of
only way that you can get rid of the hatred,
that
or
I
do
have
they actually
found.
have
So
like
that you have
so
found so far?
you can go to a spot where it's called the tear of something, and it will cleanse a certain amount of the chests around, because the only two ways of getting abilities are, well, there's three ways of getting cards. You can defeat enemies, which drop fragments, which you then empower, but that gives you hatred. You can open a chest that has hatred on it, and you will get a card. But obviously, you have now gotten hatred. Or you can go to a city and you can buy it. The problem is that the only way to buy something is you have to be able to have the cards to sell them or fragment or drain them or whatever else.
Yeah.
Like, so eh, because all of it is stacking in this idea around, fighting and unlocking these chests, you can go to one of these tears and cleanse the chest, but it only cleanses in a very small area, and there's only
Right.
one per like zone. And once you cleanse it, and which I think you're about to see here, I'll go to this one area and I cleanse, and you go and you fight, and then it cleanses it, but it literally only cleanses it like in this little valley. So anything outside of this valley, everything is still, I still have
it's
hatred.
still up in the hatred levels.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's a fun game. It
The
handles
world
okay.
is impressively like big, like
Yeah,
large.
it's
like the scale of things.
It's not bad. The other thing that I have an issue with too with the game is because it is so large and they do dot it with a bunch of stuff. Like
Hmm.
you're enticed to go and fight and to go, really have at it
But
and
that just
explore.
builds up hatred.
Right, but now you're kind of fucking yourself because
Right.
you really can't just keep gaining cards, because you will like in one of my runs, I permanently locked myself to 2 hatred, and I basically was making the game so difficult that I couldn't progress, past a certain point. So that is a downfall. The other thing that kind of sucks, where I think that they need to, this is easy patches they can fix, but like I was in one of the fights where I cleared the area for the tier. So what happened is it triggered a cinematic. The cinematic pulls out. There's enemies still inside there that are wailing on me, and I died and ended my run. Because I
jeez.
couldn't control my character during the cinematic, but I was still getting hit. So
That's an oversight. That's
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of like little things that are frustrating when it comes to the game. But all in all, I mean, it really is fun. I've had a lot of good time with it. Like the combat system, has some fluidness to it. There are some issues where you do get hit kind of off screen where you can't see stuff coming at you. You do have to like time, like you're seeing here, where like I have a bubble that I cast, and it allows me to be invulnerable and stagger an enemy. But you can also dodge and get frenzy. So like there's a lot of different like status effects. They've thought about a lot of those things really, really well. And it's fun. I just think that there's some quirks to it with it. And unfortunately, it actually runs like dog shit on the Steam Deck, which is really sad because this is a game that I think would be really good on a Steam Deck.
Right.
But I mean, all in all, I think, let me see what the price wise, it's $30
It's
bucks.
$30. Yeah.
I think it's a little much for 30 at its current
This is
state.
this is made by the same people that made Generation Zero and that Second Extinction. You remember that game?
Yes.
yeah. I played that.
I would say that this is
That one
definitely
was rough.
better. This is definitely better than Second Extinction, for
Yeah.
sure. And they also have,
which is surprising me because Generation Zero I heard was really good. I know that a lot of people complained about
I
it
think
because
it
it was
started
a little
out
janky,
rough.
but
It
yeah.
started out janky, but it got better.
um,
What I heard.
what the other thing I'll say too is that they do a very good job, at least with the roguelike element, that if you die, like you're accumulating these things that allow you to unlock more cards and character traits that allow you to
Mhm.
make your run better, but there's still nothing that deals with hatred, which is the overlying, like I think honest to God, if they were to either temper that back or get rid of permanent hatred, I think it would make the game a lot better. But the enemy
Yeah.
types, there's a lot of variety, trolls and casters, and the world is pretty and it's fun to play in. I just think that if you're gonna buy it for $30, just be prepared to understand like there are some flaws in it, and they're patching it. They just came out with a new patch today. Or
Yeah, like you said, I
yesterday.
definitely think it would have benefited them to come out in early access.
Oh, for
Definitely.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
This
then
is
they
this
could
is
at
one
least
I've
use that
I've
as a saying, you know.
I've had my eye on it for a while, and I was kind of under the same assumption as like they released it. I saw it was for $30, and I was like, I think I'll wait until it
Yeah.
goes on sale because like it looks good, it looks fun, but yeah, like I watched you play it, I watched Crow Templar play it, and a couple of other content creators that I watch play it. And it's just it is extremely janky in some aspects.
Yeah, well, for
So
sure. So, but that is Ravenbound. Um,
thanks for checking out these patch notes. These are small segments from the Pre-Patch Podcast, live every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube and on Twitch.